Hello, fellow Full Sail classmates. This is Tawan Wright, and this is week 4, our self reflective presentation. I've most definitely learned a lot from this class, and I really appreciate all of the readings that we've had. So, walking away from this, I have a lot of things that I can most definitely incorporate into my public speaking. Thank you for that. Honestly, my feelings going into this class, all I have to say is just yikes. I was not looking forward to doing this class, doing presentations, public speaking at all. This is not one of the things I like to do, but I had fun doing it though in the end, which I really, really appreciate everything that I've learned. The only experience that I've had with public speaking is with my job. We would do on-site trainings where we would go on-site to the businesses and do training on our products from 2 to 15 people. But I've never been in front of an audience of 50 or more people. I'm not for sure if that'll be any different, but that's the only experience that I've had, and that alone was nerve-wracking for me. I would get nervous in front of 2 people, so public speaking is just hasn't been my strong point. Do I feel good about my communication skills? No. But it's one thing that I do focus on and I'm working on as well. In some cases, I go in nervous, but thinking of that. But by the end of my presentation, I feel I've done a good job, a better job than what I thought I would do. So to that question, no. Performance experience, I have had none. Not unless you want to count my church plays when I was a kid and the plays that I participated in elementary school. Other than that, in high school, no performance experience whatsoever. But I think in this class, it has opened me up a little bit more um, to maybe get into something like that. But prior to this, no performance experience whatsoever. I think my challenges for week 1, 2, 3, and 4 is pronouncing words and pacing myself through my presentations. I believe I progressively got better up until this last presentation, but that's something I'm going to work on and continue to work on. That seems to be the biggest, to me, the biggest thing that I would need to work on as far as delivery. I've only had to do one visual presentation in my life. That was actually when I started Full Sail, and that was my digital literacy class. Had no clue what I was doing, but I learned a little bit from that class and how to present. But I believe that visual presentation is the most effective way to communicate what you're trying to say. It'll keep people's attention more than hearing a whole bunch of words. And I know that because that's how I am when I sit in a meeting or some type of presentation. For a while, you can keep my attention, but if you're showing slides and visuals and video, you'll keep me awake and keep my attention. I didn't receive any feedback from my classmates, but Ms. Reister, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, most definitely boosted my confidence after every presentation. So I will take that and I will use that for the rest of my life. Thank you, Ms. Reister. One of the main things that I focused on when listening to my classmates and their presentation is tone and their excitement. That's one of the main things I focused on. Everyone had a good presentation as far as presentation goes, but that was one of the main things that I focused on. And most of my responses were written responses. I thought about doing a video response, but I didn't. Now I regret not doing it, but most of my responses were written responses. I did spend time practicing my speeches just so I wouldn't be saying too much, but I found myself saying too much. But I would spend about 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before getting my speech right. I've done a lot of takes, and in between takes, I would practice my speech again. So preparation was key to me to to deliver an effective speech. I'm about to say the project that I enjoyed the most was the introductory project we had to do because it was more off the top of our head type project. I enjoyed every single one of them, but if I had to pick my least favorite one, that was the persuasive project we had to complete. Not that I didn't like it, I just wish I could have done more with it. That one was under a lot of pressure that week, so just the overall leading up to that one was probably my least, but I most definitely enjoyed my finished project. I just wish I could have done more with that particular project. One of the things that I've learned from TED is to be transparent, which I believe is the sixth commandment, which says, "Thou shalt not flaunt thine ego, be thou vulnerable, speak of thy failure as well as thy success." And the other commandment that I've learned is the eighth commandment, which is, "Thou shalt remember all the while laughter is good." And the last one that I really have taken away from TED is the 10th commandment: "Thou shalt not steal the time of them that follow thee." I think those are the three key things that I've learned from TED, and amongst other things, but those are the three that stand out in public speaking. What I've learned from Sir Ken Robinson, Nancy Duarte, and Gar Reynolds is telling a story. And each of them had their personal way of telling a story. Sir Ken Robinson is hilarious, and Nancy Duarte, her tone and is great, and Garwin Reynolds as well. But the way they deliver their story, I've learned a lot in watching them and listening to their speeches over and over again, and I'm going to take a lot from that. As I said before in my TED Talk evaluation, Sir Ken Robinson is the greatest, but I most definitely learned from Nancy Duarte and Gar Reynolds as well. My biggest delivery failure is pronouncing words, which is probably because I don't pace myself. And if you don't pace yourself, of course, your words start to run together. But I think is big too. I say that a lot. So those are the two biggest things that I need to work on. My greatest strength in terms of presentation is my tone. I would rate myself a 3 in public speaking and presentation. I know in public speaking I can work on my pace, and with presentation I can work on the visual, which will make me stronger in that area. My feelings is I'm ready to do public speaking. I'm ready to do presentation. This class has taught me a lot. I'm going to be taking away a lot of things from this class. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy looking at everyone's videos. That inspired me too to do more public speaking and presentation. So good luck to everyone, and feel free to comment on my video.